What is going on, everybody? What is going on, everybody? My name is JeffLightsyJr. here with the Black Boss Channel and Victory Formation. Thank you guys for tuning in. Woo! You guys had a day talking about. We let it marinate for a while, talking about the Boombox Classic that is going to be taking place at Legion Field both in 2023 and 2024. Also, Jackson State will have a neutral site game against Arkansas Pine Bluff, UAPB down there in Birmingham. And a lot of people were upset, but we are going to take a deeper dive, a deeper look, and listen to Dr. Charles McClelland. And you might still be upset, but we're going to take a deeper dive. We're going to take a deeper look into why this all makes so much sense right after the bumper. Stay tuned. What is going on, everybody? What is going on, everybody? Be sure to hit that thumbs up button as you come in. Drop your comments in the chat. Hello to you, Hillis. Thank you so much for your kind comments. But tonight, it's late. You guys are in here with me late. We're in here talking about the Boombox, the SWAC Classic is what it's going to be called. The SWAC Classic that is going to be taking place starting this year. And I want to break some things down because some of you might know this, but some of you may not know this about how this was taking place, how some of these things are happening, what's going to be taking place, what's going to be happening with the SWAC Classic. We're also going to hear from HBCU Gameday. They talked to Dr. Charles McClelland, the commissioner of the SWAC, and why the SWAC Classic is taking place in Birmingham, and then maybe we'll even take some calls. I think I might have got this call thing taking place, so we might be able to take some calls towards the end of the show. But once again, my name is JeffLightsYJr. with the Black Boss Channel and Victory Formation. Be sure as you come in, hit that thumbs up button, get the likes up, like, share, subscribe. And we're here today to talk about the news that dropped this week about the SWAC Classic. The SWAC Classic will start in 2022. It is at least a 3-year SWAC Classic that'll be taking place. 2 SWAC teams, Jackson State versus Arkansas Pine Bluff, year 1, which is 2022. Then Jackson State versus Southern, both in 23 and in 24. That will take place at Legion Field down there in Birmingham. Legion Field, a field that seats 71,000. Legion Field, someplace a lot of you guys don't want to go to, but I'm going to tell you why. Hopefully by the end of this broadcast, convince you why this makes a ton of sense. So they announced this game this week. A lot of you all Jackson State fans, Southern fans, SWAC fans, you guys were pissed, especially those JSU fans. You're like, yo, you guys are taking a home game away from us. Why is it that we are the team that's going to be playing, taking away one of our home games, going down there to Alabama, down there to Birmingham? It seems like a lot of you guys don't want to go down to Alabama to play a game. You don't want to go to play at Legion Field. A lot of people have been talking about the field conditions, been saying it's the old field, saying it's in the middle of the hood, saying all this. I've heard everything about what was wrong with this SWAC Classic game taking place down there in Birmingham, Alabama. And now Dr. Charles McClelland did a stupendous job explaining why this makes a ton of sense. But I want to take a deeper step. Obviously, I don't have more information than him, but I want to try to break down some of that information that he broke down and maybe go over some things that some of you may know and some of you may not. And it was news to me, so I just want to pass along the information that I've been given. And shout out to Mo Carter. I talked to Mo Carter, a sports reporter down there in Alabama, and we talked about this, and he broke it down even better to me. So hopefully I can spread that message to you. Now, like I said, the SWAC Classic is a game that will be held in Birmingham, Alabama. It is a game essentially that Dr. McClelland and the SWAC put together. They created, and it is a game that is smart that they created. Now, let's read from the official SWAC website. Let's go ahead and let's do that first. Let's knock that out. So that way we get an understanding of the SWAC Classic, and then we're going to deep dive into it. It said the Southern Athletic Conference will host a series of football games at Birmingham's Legion Field each of the next 3 years. The Birmingham City Council recently approved the agreement recommended by the mayor, which also includes an option to renew it for a 2-year term after that. Says he gives his thank yous to the mayor. The SWAC is considered the premier historically black college league. The SWAC is extremely excited to partner with the city of Birmingham for hosting the several events. When the SWAC plays in Birmingham, games are expected to generate significant revenue as well as put the city at center stage in front of a crop of new visitors, fans, and national media. That is key. The national media. Damn the visitors and fans. We know you guys travel. We know you guys will be at the game in Jackson. We know you guys will be at the game in Baton Rouge. We know you guys will come out and see your teams play. We're not worried about the travel, the visitors, and fans. We're worried about that national media. We are worried about that national media. That is key. Remember that. Keep that ingratiated into your brain. Remember, keep that ingratiated into your brain. It says the upcoming series of SWAC Classic football games in Birmingham are projected to feature Jackson State, led by the FCS Coach of the Year, Deion Sanders, versus the University of Arkansas Pine Bluff, led by head coach Doc Campbell in 2022. Then Jackson State versus Southern, led by Coach Eric Dooley in 23 and 24. The city of Birmingham will provide incentives. Remember that too. Incentives in kind of services to the SWAC in an amount to exceed $200,000 in year 1 and $300,000 in years 2 and 3 in the agreement in which the games at Legion Field. So remember these incentives, right? These incentives are key because the incentives are you don't have to pay for the stadium. You don't have to pay for the stadium itself. You don't have to pay to operate the stadium. That is key. This is a 71,000 seat stadium. 71,000 seat stadium, and you get to take home the gate. You get to take home the gate. So every single ticket that comes through there, whether it's 10,000, 20,000, 30,000, 40, 50, 60, or damn it, if you sell it out, 70,000. Every single dollar that exchanges hands at that gate goes to the SWAC, goes to Jackson State, goes to Pine Bluff, goes to Southern. Period. It's great. It is awesome. Now, John, you say it's bad for Jackson and Baton Rouge. No, it is not. Because this game, especially the games in 23 and 24, would not have been played. These games weren't going to be played. And I'm going to explain that to you later in the broadcast. But it's not bad for the city because the games weren't going to be played anyway. And we're going to go through that. We're going to go through that later. So that is why you don't have to pay the gate. You don't have to pay the workers. You don't have to pay the service, any of that. And so that is why it's key. And you take home every single ticket. Now, let me go ahead and let's play the audio from Dr. McClelland. Let's play the audio from Dr. McClelland. This was tweeted out by Mo Carter. This was a feature done by HBCU Gameday, and they're exclusive with Dr. McClelland. Let's take a look.
We've heard some of the concerns about why would you take a home game, move it to the neutral location. One, in the instance of Southern and Jackson, they were having difficulties in getting this game scheduled. So it was a situation where the game might not have occurred at all unless we get to a neutral situation. And these numbers are preliminary, but based upon the money the city has put in sponsorships, right now today, if they play, each school will walk away with about $500,000. We think 30,000 in the stadium, each school per year will walk away with about 1.5 million per year. So that's 3 million over a 2-year period. And if we could really do well, get 60,000, that's about a $3 million per year hit. If those schools held that game on their own campus, they would have to pay expenses, and the revenue would not be nearly as what they would be able to get from this game. So it was an opportunity for us to try to expand. We want to change the way that business is being done. The third parties that come in and take the revenue, we think all of that revenue can go to the schools, and this was an opportunity for that to happen. And that's the goal, is to put additional revenue into the pockets of our schools. We understand that the Southern Jackson State game is a big game. We understand that it is an economic driver for the member institutions, but this is an opportunity for them to get paid in both years and get paid significant in both years. No conference game, no game with a third party will have the ability for us to be able to do what we're doing from a financial standpoint, and that is when you start talking about expenses, Tolly, even from a Jackson State perspective, and we put a game on at Jackson State, it's very, very expensive to put a game on. You know, our expenses for the championship ran somewhere in 200,000. Would have come with no expenses, $10,000-$15,000 to travel and be able to put that significant amount of revenue for a game that was falling off the schedule. We thought was significant.
A game that was falling off the schedule. That last part was huge. A game, yes. So if you fill the stadium, they could be looking at $3 million each. Absolutely. If you fill the stadium, they could be looking at $3 million each, which is more than what? That's more than the teams who go to the Celebration Bowl. If you fill the stadium, you could be looking at $3 million each. This is why this is big. This is why this is big. For 60,000. Yeah, for 60,000 because the stadium seats, you're right, John, not even 60,000 because the stadium seats 71. The stadium seats 70,000. So if you get 60,000, like Commissioner McClelland thinks that, could possibly happen, looking at $3 million each. If you get 30,000, you're looking at 1.5 each. If you're a team if you're Jackson State and Southern, and say let's do the low number, let's do 30,000, and you get 1.5 million each, that's $3 million over 2 years for 2 games. $3 million over 2 years for 2 games. That's just 2 games. That's more than you would make at the Celebration Bowl. Now, that last part is critical. That last part is critical. So, for those of you who don't know, the SWAC has an 8-game conference schedule. Let's repeat this. The SWAC has an 8-game conference schedule. So, the 8-game conference schedule means, as we all know, there are 10 SWAC schools. So, an 8-game conference schedule. Let's see. Let me go to my SWAC. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, there's 12. I said 10. There's 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you have an 8-game conference schedule. An 8-game conference schedule. So if there's 12 schools, you have an 8-game conference schedule. You take yourself out. That means you have a rotation of at least a couple of years where there's one team and you have one permanent. So what the SWAC schools do, the Eastern, let me show my screen and let me show you the SWAC standings. Let me show you the SWAC standings. We're just looking at the standings from this 21 fall football season. So as we're looking at this, we're looking at Jackson. In the East, we have Jackson State, FAMU, Alabama A&M, Alabama State, Valley, and Bethune-Cookman. Over in the West, we have Prairie View, Alcorn, Southern, Grambling, Texas Southern, and Pine Bluff. So with these 12 schools, the East in the West, you play every team in the East. So Jackson State will play FAMU, Alabama A&M, Alabama State, Mississippi Valley, and Bethune every single year. You play them every single year. You get to choose one because how it works is you play 8 games. You get to choose one permanent. That means one school over on the West. Every school got to choose one permanent team that they get to play over in the other division. Now, when you added Bethune and you added FAMU, this made things a little interesting. So you play one team permanent. Jackson State chose Alcorn as their permanent team to play every single year over in the West because Alcorn went from the East to the West. Southern chose their one permanent. They chose their one permanent over, let me make sure I'm saying this right, FAMU. Because Southern and FAMU has a long-standing non-conference rivalry back when FAMU was in the MEAC. So Southern's one permanent is FAMU. Jackson State's one permanent is Alcorn. And then the other schools you rotate. So every year, it'll be a couple of years every single time that you won't play a school for 2 years. That's why Jackson State didn't play Grambling this year. If you notice, Jackson State didn't play Grambling. Why? Because as of right now, Grambling is on their 2-year hiatus from Jackson State because it's that rotation. For 2 years, there's every team in the East, there will be a team over in the West. Hopefully I'm making sense. If you're a team in the East, every 2 years, you'll miss out on playing a team in the West as a conference opponent. So Jackson State, they're in their 2-year window with who? With Grambling. Now, some of you may be saying, well, Jackson State is playing Grambling this fall. Grambling released that schedule, and they're playing Jackson State. This is how they're doing it, because Grambling is playing Jackson State as what? A non-conference game. Let's show that. A non-conference game. I swear I'm going somewhere with this, guys. Just stay with me. Just stay with me. That way it all makes sense in the end. Grambling and Jackson State. Grambling uploaded their schedule. It says blah, 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 blah. Grambling will get a good look. Now let's read this together. This section right here. Grambling will get a good look at potential SWAC East Division favorites September 17th when they visit Jackson State in a non-conference matchup. Think about this. The SWAC is one of the few conferences in the entire NCAA who will play other conference teams in what? A non-conference game. So when Jackson State plays Grambling in 2022, it will not count against either team's conference record. If Grambling wins, it won't affect Jackson State's conference record. If Jackson State wins, it won't affect their conference record, and vice versa. So it's a non-conference game. Why are they having to play it in the non-conference game? Because Jackson State is rotated off Grambling's schedule for the last 2 years. They didn't play in fall of 21. They technically weren't supposed to play in fall of 22. You understand what I'm saying? Shake your head. Type in the chat, I understand. Type in the chat, I understand. Please, someone type in the chat, I understand, if you understand what I am saying. So why does this matter? Well, this matters because in 2023, in 2024, Southern was scheduled to be rotated off Jackson State's schedule. Southern was scheduled, just like Grambling is right now. Southern was scheduled to be rotated off of Jackson State's schedule. The same with Jackson State and Southern. They were not supposed to play in 2023 and 2024. So, because of that, they have scheduled each other as non-conference opponents in what? The SWAC Classic. They have scheduled each other as non-conference opponents in the SWAC Classic. Now, a lot of people did like Steven's like, yo, we get it. It's not new. It's not new. But a lot of people didn't understand that. A lot of people haven't understood this. And I'm just trying to make sure everybody gets that this is taking place. And this is why the SWAC Classic makes a ton of sense. This is why the SWAC Classic makes a whole lot of sense. And so in that HBCU Game Day exclusive, Dr. McClelland went on to say that Southern and Jackson State, their ADs, were trying to schedule each other's non-conference teams. They couldn't get it done. They couldn't get it done for whatever reason. Scheduling, whatever. And so they still had this Legion Field idea in their back pocket because the mayor of Birmingham is tight with Commissioner McClelland. And they said, yo, you guys can use Legion Field whenever you want, all expenses paid for. So Dr. McClelland, being the smart man that he is, was like, yo, we've got this Legion Field. You got whoever wants to use it can use it. And Jackson State and Southern, with their scheduling issues, came to Dr. McClelland and was like, let's get it done. And so that is why, voila, the SWAC Classic was born. And so why is this beneficial? Because as you heard the man say, if nobody shows up, both schools are walking away with $500,000. If nobody shows up, both schools are walking away with $500,000. And it gets better. And then you get every dollar from the ticket sales. And it gets better than that. Because he spoke about it a little bit, but I can tell you a little more that with this game taking place at Legion Field, it's a bigger venue. It's more likely for national media attention. And because, see, the SWAC has a deal with ESPN. Now, someone says tonight the commissioner admitted they could have got it done without Legion Field. Absolutely. They could have. You're right. It wouldn't have brought in this kind of money, though. It doesn't matter. And so because this game is a non-conference game, albeit it's two SWAC teams, because this game is a non-conference game, why is that significant? Because now, As long as everything is how we expect it to be, Coach Prime is at Jackson State winning games like we expect him to do over the next 2 years. Travis Hunter's balling out. Shador Sanders is balling out at Jackson State. Coach Dooley in Southern has got some blue chippers in there. All the recruits ain't still flipping to Grambling. Hopefully they get that under control. OU Jackson ain't stealing all the Grambling, all the recruits from Southern ain't still going to Grambling by that time. By 2023, Commissioner McClelland can work out one of the most lucrative TV deals in the history of the SWAC. Why? Because there will essentially be a bidding war because ESPN only carries SWAC games. This is a non-conference game. Albeit it's 2 SWAC schools, it is a non-conference game. And so ESPN can come to the table. CBS can come to the table. You Grambling fans and Southern fans, I know about NBC can come to the table. Fox Sports, if they want to get into it, they can come to the table. Everybody can come to the table and put their best bid forward for the SWAC Classic because it would be non-conference games. That's huge. That, when we talk about shifting the paradigm and leveling the playing field and getting money towards these HBCUs and getting money towards the black colleges and getting money and resources for the SWAC or MEAC or whoever, that is how you do it. Commissioner McClelland admitted it. He said, ticket revenues are good, but the reason why these SEC schools make hand over fist when it comes to dollars and cents, the thing is, when you do that, they make hand over fist when it comes to dollars and cents because of their television contracts. Their television contracts is what separates those Power 5, those FBS schools, those FBS programs from a program or a conference like the SWAC. And the genius that is a man like Dr. McClelland, he sees that. He sees that. Dr. McClelland is in on those NCAA advisory committees. He's in there talking to these commissioners of the SECs and of the Big Tens and of the Pac-12s and of these other conferences. He sees how they make money hand over fist. And so the way to make money and the way to uplift your program is get the big TV deal. And so when you have a bidding war over who's going to play, be able to broadcast the Jackson versus Southern game for at least 2 years and potentially more years down the line, then you're going to get that bread. You're going to get that kind of money. And so this is why this is perfect for the SWAC. This is how you take your conference to the next level. And even when, because a lot of you will say, well, you don't even know whether Coach Prime will be there in 23 and 24, which is true. You guys know I'm a big Jackson State guy. I love the Tigers, but we got to keep call a spade a spade. Coach Prime's a hot name right now. And at any moment, he could jump ship and go to Florida State. He could go to any other of these programs. A lot of people were reporting that he interviewed for the TCU job. So, we got to keep it a bean. But when those contracts are signed, whether Deion Sanders is roaming the sidelines or not, that money coming in. That bread coming in. Those multi-year deals, you ain't just pulling it out because Deion ain't there. No. We cash. Those checks still get cashed, and that is why this is significant. That's why this is significant. That is why this is huge. So I am a huge fan of Dr. McClelland. I am a huge fan of this game. And some other people were talking and saying, why is this game being held at the old stadium than the new stadium? And Dr. McClelland kind of touched on that. And I can tell you, he talked about how, Legion Field is either a city stadium, and the other one, Proactive, which is downtown in the middle of Birmingham, is like a county, or Legion Field's a county and the other one's city, or something like that. I don't know, something along those lines. But I can tell you from a dollars and cents standard why it makes more sense to have the Legion Field, because Legion Field seats 70,000. The new stadium seats less than 50. One seats 70, the other seats less than 50. I think I'm going to go with the one with more seats, because even if we don't fill it up to capacity, if we can get to 60,000, at least that's an option. If we can get to 60,000 tickets, that's an option. That's not an option in that new arena, in the Proactive Arena in Birmingham. It's not an option. 60,000 ain't an option. 50,000 ain't an option. But 60,000 is an option at Legion Field. 65,000 is an option. 70,000 is an option. And so that is why all of this makes so much sense. All of this hand over fist, Dr. McClelland. And like I said, you get Jackson State the first 3 years. Now Coach Prime does bring in the money, Art. You're right. Coach Prime does bring in the money. We're seeing a Pepsi deal. We saw his son get a Gatorade deal today. And Gatorade's owned by who? Pepsi. It only makes sense. You know what I'm saying? It only makes sense that Shedeur gets the Gatorade deal. His dad's got the Pepsi deal. It only makes sense. But this is about more than just Jackson State. This is about more than just Jackson State. Like, this is about uplifting everyone. This is about making sure everybody eats, because if the SWAC eats, and like I told you guys in my last broadcast, when the SWAC eats, everybody eats. Let me repeat that again. When the SWAC eats, yes, and it's being used for free. It's no overhead. You're not paying to use it. You're not paying to work it. And you get all the money from the ticket gates. Now, someone might say, now, why in the world will Birmingham sign up for something like that? Why would the mayor of Birmingham be so excited about that? Because he knows that you guys will show up to that game. As mad, as pissed off as y'all are. Y'all mad as hell about that game for Southern Ridge Jackson State not to be held in either Baton Rouge or in Jackson. Y'all mad as hell. But I bet you 50,000 people going to show up. I bet you 40,000 people, and that's 40,000 non-Alabamians. That's 40,000 non-Bamas, Alabamian people. So 40,000 folks from Mississippi, 50, 60,000 from Baton Rouge or from Mississippi coming down to Alabama. Y'all spending a lot of money down there in the city of Alabama. Y'all getting hotels, y'all getting rental cars, y'all got to eat. You know what I'm saying? Y'all got to go somewhere to party. Y'all got to go somewhere to have a drink. You got to go somewhere to buy a drink. You know, so that's why he going to sign up for that. 60,000 people influx to his city, not from the city of Birmingham. I'm going to take that every time. Yeah, it's going to cost me $200,000 to run the game. But this game might bring me 2, 3, 4 million by all you folks coming in and all the tourists and all the money and all the stuff that you guys are going to bring in to that game. Y'all mad as hell about this game not being played at the home and home. But y'all gonna pay that, y'all gonna be there. Yeah. So y'all tell me y'all not gonna support Coach Prime and these boys down there in Birmingham just because it's in Birmingham. No. Y'all not gonna support Coach Dooley and his new staff down in Southern just because the game's in Birmingham and not in Baton Rouge. No. So that's why he would sign up for this deal. That is why he would take this deal. That is why you pull something like this off. I mean, boom. It's perfect. It is a win-win. And when you have a bidding war for your conference, you're no longer local. The SWAC been local for a long time. Dr. McClelland is like, we ain't local no more. You know, he's Suge Knight on stage, man. You know, all the other conferences, he said, y'all want y'all conferences all up in the videos, all in the TV screens, dancing. If you don't want that, come to the SWAC. Come to the SWAC, man. I got these dudes, Travis Hunter, #1 player in the country, Kevin Coleman, top 5 receiver in the country, Shedeur Sanders, all these Brady commercials, Gatorade commercials, Beats by Dre. I got Coach Dooley, who's got some ballers, who got a crazy offensive mind. I got Coach Prime on the sidelines. I got Pepsi. I got all these different sponsors coming through, throwing hand over fist. I got these TV contracts, man. We leveling up in the SWAC. That's how that's how Dr. McClelland's talking. He's like, man, we're no longer, you know what I'm saying? We not that dude no more. That dude used to get bullied and used to get pushed off to ESPN Plus all the time. And all our games, it was hard as hell to find our games and doing all of that. And you know what I'm saying? You got to call somebody to get a game or figure out where the game's at. No, man, we ain't doing that no more, man. Our games are going to be front and center. Our people is going to be front and center. And I applaud him, man. I applaud what he is doing. Come on, y'all. This is more money. This is going to bring in more money than a Celebration Bowl. This is going to bring it. This is for 2 games. You're looking at potentially a payout of $3 million for 2 games. And when's the last time Pine Bluff's going to get in on this? We don't even talk about Pine Bluff on this channel. Let's keep it a bean. We don't even talk. When is the last time Pine Bluff has been mentioned on this channel? On any of these channels? Not just mine, on anybody's channel. I ain't never talked about Pine Bluff. And somehow, some way, Pine Bluff gonna walk away with almost $2 million or potentially more, but at least $1.5 million from this game. You don't think that could go a long way for Pine Bluff? You don't think that money can go a long way for the SWAC? And when the SWAC eats, everyone eats. That means Texas Southern eats. That means Prairie View eats. That means Alabama State eats. Alabama A&M eats. Alcorn eats. Not just Jackson State. Not just Jackson State. So, I mean, sheesh. Let me look at some of your comments. It says APB will make more money than they would make from getting beat up by the University of Arkansas. Talk to him, Pacifico. Talk to him. You get $750,000 to go down to Fayetteville and get your brains beat in. Come away with a couple of dudes hurt potentially. Get beat by 60, 50, 60 points. Kill your morale. Kill everything. And you might make $500,000, you might make $700,000, you might make $1 million. But instead, you can walk away with at least 1.5, potentially have a competitive game and party. And even if you lose, hell, you get to party. You get to hear the bands. You get to see the people. Folks get to have a tailgate because you ain't getting that in Fayetteville. You ain't going to get the atmosphere that this SWAC Classic is going to bring. Come on, y'all. This game, and it's a non-conference game, so it's more than likely going to be played during the beginning of the season. We're going to have a good time. Hell, Pine Bluff fans going to be down there. I'm like, man, we getting our brains busted, but at least we having a good time. At least we got to eat good. At least we got to hear good music. At least we have some good drink. At least we had a good time, man. At least it was a good time. You ain't getting that at Fayetteville. You ain't getting that if you decide to go, down the street and play Ole Miss or something. You ain't getting that. Nah. So I'm hoping, I'm trying to, I get it. And some of you already understood all of this. You were still pissed off. It is what it is. But I just want to kind of, lighten the mood, man, because I seen so many of you guys' comments. Y'all were pissed about these games. And I'm excited. I was excited because it was so many layers. I was excited because I knew the money that was going to be able to be brought in. I knew the money that could be brought in. I knew the atmosphere. I know the atmosphere I know some of you guys don't like Alabama, but bro, this is going to be lit. A dude coming from Louisville, Kentucky like me, that's where I'm from, coming down to Birmingham to see Jackson State versus Southern, to see the Boombox Classic with a stadium that could seat 70,000 people. And you guys told me at Jackson, y'all had 60,000 in the stadium, 20,000 outside. I'm going to have to see that to believe it. I ain't calling y'all no liars, but I'm going to have to see that one to believe it. But if I'm imagining, say if y'all get 50,000, let's just be realistic. Say 45, 50,000 go to the game in Birmingham. But if there's another 10 or 20 outside, I'm trying to see that. I'm trying to see that. Like I am, man. I am. This is incredible. This is an incredible opportunity for both of these schools and for the conference. We cannot leave out the benefit of the conference. You guys need to be thankful. You have a commissioner like Dr. Charles McClelland. You guys need to be sending him love letters, sending him thank you notes, because he is progressing this conference like no other. I get it. Coach Prime put an accelerator on some of these things. We ain't gonna discredit Deion Sanders. Coach Prime put an accelerator on some of these things, but the SWAC was growing before Deion Sanders showed up. Let's keep it a bean. Was the SWAC not growing before Deion Sanders showed up? Now Deion Sanders, he put a little gasoline on that thing. He put a little gasoline on that thing because in 1 year the man in 1 year this man didn't go crazy. But he put a little gasoline on that joint. You know what I'm saying? But this is huge. Let me read some of your comments, man. Let me read some of your comments, see what you guys are talking about. It says, this games bring more money to both schools. It's not hard to understand. Yes, the cities lose out, but the schools win. And not just the schools, John. The conference wins. And and it's not just these two schools or these three schools, not just Pine Bluff, Southern, and Jackson State. The other schools win too. The conference wins. Everybody eats off of this. Everybody eats. Those schools in the SEC, I always bring up the SEC when I talk about the SWAC because in proximity, they're like in the same region. Georgia, Alabama, Florida, you know what I'm saying? In proximity, you're all in the same region. And so the SEC, when they do big things, it don't just benefit Georgia, Alabama, Ole Miss, or one or two teams. It benefits the conference. And when the conference eats, even little schools like Vanderbilt or Kentucky, who may not make a whole bunch of money during football season, still are in the black. Like they're by in the black, meaning their business is still booming. The conference dishes out payments, and that means every school still eats. So yeah, this is big for not just those three schools, but for everybody. Because you guys, I mean, I don't think you guys understand what the TV ratings, the numbers, and the sponsors that'll flock to this. See, and this is not just an HBCU thing. This is just a black community thing. The reason why a lot of the black community struggle is because of the lack of resources. It's not just subjugated to just HBCUs. And I don't want to get too deep into history and stuff because I could do that another time. But the reason why a lot of black communities, black cities, black whatever struggle is the lack of resources. Well, Dr. McClelland has found a way to get the resources. My man's the Pied Piper when it comes to resources. Him and Prime, they're the Pied Pipers, and Ashley Robinson over, with some other guys, but them folks, the Pied Piper of the resources, folks. They get them dollars to come in. They get them folks to cash them checks. And the thing is, we don't even know the numbers yet. Because these are public institutions, the numbers are going to come out. And once we see these dollars and cents numbers, and once we get down there to the SWAC Classic, and we get to shucking and jiving with each other, cutting up and cutting the rug, we all going to be happy. And they going to be happy too. You get what I'm saying? So let me read some more of your comments. Oh, shoot. What does this say? Let me read some more of your comments. Ooh, they're coming in so fast. Let's see. True King FAMU. It's a game changer. It is a game changer. It is a game changer. It says, look at the Red River shootout between Texas and Oklahoma. Yeah. And this, Coach, shout out to Coach Simmons. Yes, look at that. And think of all these people that look like us, party like us, get down like us, all coming to this game, all flocking to a city. Come on, man. It's going to be amazing. It says you can tailgate in Birmingham for free and get free money all across the board because it's free. Do you not see the word free? Tell them, Art. Do you not see the word free? Do you not see the word free and understand that your school, whatever school it may be, Alcorn or whoever, I've said them so many times I'll be forgetting, no matter whatever it may be, it's going to get a chance to eat. Valley, Bethune, Texas Southern, Pine Bluff, obviously Jackson State, FAMU, Alabama A&M, Prairie View, Alcorn, Southern. Like, everybody's going to eat, man. Everybody's going to eat. Everybody is going to eat. Let's see. It says the commissioner changed my mind. I have to apologize for being. Tell him he's a genius. Give him his flowers now. Give him his flowers now. Don't wait till it's too late. Because here's the thing. Every SWAC commissioner ain't been Dr. McClelland. I was put on some game about the history of the SWAC. Every commissioner ain't been this dude. When you guys were doing stuff down in Houston and paying all that money to play at NRG Stadium and at the Toyota Center for basketball, and y'all were paying hand over fist for those arenas, for those venues, way too much because certain people were buddy with other people. I ain't gonna say too much. I ain't gonna say too much and get myself in no trouble, but you get what I'm saying. When y'all was paying hundreds of thousands for places like NRG Stadium, for places like the Toyota Center, y'all were paying money and then losing money because of it. Yeah, this is a lot better deal when these folks is paying you to come play at their stadium. When they say, no, don't worry about it. Oh, the staff will take care of that. Oh, the facility, don't worry about that. Matter of fact, you take all the gate too. Take all of that. You know what I'm saying? You guys done rented venues before. Think about it. Let's put this in perspective. Y'all done had a birthday party, a baby shower, a cookout, or something where y'all had to rent a venue. Everybody done rented a venue. You either rented a venue, rented an Airbnb, rented whatever. Just imagine if you rented that venue and these folks said, "No, don't worry about it. Actually, it's venue free." Imagine if you could have saved a couple $100. Y'all would have been feeling real good when you had the family reunion. You had to pay $300, $400, $500, the baby shower, whatever, for a few hours, and y'all could have kept that in your pocket. Your party, if you guys throw parties or whatever, you could have kept the actual venue space money in your pocket. Yeah, that would feel pretty good. That would have felt pretty good. If nobody shows up, it's 500,000, and y'all know y'all gonna show up. Y'all know y'all gonna show up, man. Y'all know, man. I'm not trying to pick from the same folks. I keep picking people like John, and whatnot. Let me continue. Let's see. See, you actually changed my mind on this because I initially had it. A lot of people did. Man. I'm just trying to, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to shed some light and let it be known why this is an amazing idea. Like, as soon as I heard it, but you guys got to know, I don't have no ties to nobody. Like, I call myself a JSU fan now, but like, I didn't grow up in this. Some of you, and I get it. I totally do. Some of y'all grew up in this. And imagine taking that from you. The folks was trying to take, what's what you felt like? Felt like the folks were trying to take that from you. I get it. Shout out to CFL, by the way. They're trying to take y'all game from you. And I get it. I'd have been pissed too. Somebody try to take my game from me. But you got to understand that game wasn't going to happen. And now that you can not only have the game, which wasn't going to happen. We talked about that earlier about the rotating schedule. It wasn't going to happen for them 2 years, just like Grambling wasn't supposed to happen. Grambling didn't happen last year, and Grambling wasn't supposed to happen this year, but it's a non-conference game. We already went through all of that. But now we can still have our game, and we can pack out a stadium, and we can get paid for it. Nah, we got to make that happen. We got to make that happen. Let's see. So what do you think about the city of Jackson will not receive the revenue? But so, Stephen, I'll address this. That's Stephen, man, because you always in here and you're a good dude. And I love what you be talking about. So, about the city of Jackson. We got to think about this, though, now. Now, Jackson ain't getting cheated out of nothing now. Let's think about this. Last year, the city of Jackson reported that they brought in the most money in football history, $30 million. We can imagine that they're going to top that this year, right? Like, Stephen, can we agree that if they made a record number last year, bringing in the number one recruit and bringing most of your players back and having Coach Prime in his second full fall season, we can imagine they're going to make more money this year. And then if they go out and say they do what they're supposed to do, in their mind, they're going to win the Celebration Bowl. If they go out and do that in 2022, then in 2023, they're going to bring in even more money because there'll be even more hype. It'll be Shador's potentially Shador's last year if he decides he wants to come out of his junior year. Like, then they're going to bring in even more money, right? Like, so the city of Jackson, I don't think they're losing no sleep off of losing one game when they're bringing in record numbers because of what Deion Sanders and his staff is doing at Jackson State. That's just my, you know what I'm saying? You know, if I'm missing something, please let me know. If I am missing something, please let me know. It says the atmosphere won't be the same, but for the money, I guess. You know, Amber, I can see what you mean. I can definitely understand what you mean because it ain't Jackson, it ain't Baton Rouge. I can agree with that. But if 70 people, think about this, Amber. If 70,000 people show up, let's say if they have a sellout, I don't believe it's going to be a sellout for Pine Bluff. No disrespect to Pine Bluff. I just don't think it's going to be a sellout for Pine Bluff. We're specifically talking about the Boombox Classic. If they can get a sellout or close to it, let's give them 55. If they can do 55,000 inside, you guys are telling me there's like 10, 20,000 outside. 70,000 people. That might not be the Jackson atmosphere. That might not be the Baton Rouge atmosphere. It's a pretty good atmosphere. And the thing is, because this is going to be nationally televised and not on ESPN 36, as Coach Prime would say, I think you could do better than that. I think you can get people to travel in for this game. And not to say they wouldn't travel in for the game at Baton Rouge or Jackson, but with more media attention, more pub, a bidding war potentially, I think you could do better for travel. I think you could. That's just me. That is just me. It says, I hope this trickled down to D2 NIA. I think it will, Sheldon, because the other schools will see this concept. Like, folks are going to see what Dr. McClelland is doing. And all you have to do is rinse and repeat. Rinse and repeat, man. The man showing you how to do it. He's showing you. It's like, you know what I'm saying? Somebody who's a boss. It's like, I'm showing you how to be a boss. Come make it happen. Free venue is huge, no doubt about it. The atmosphere will be what we make it. Tell them, Stead, the atmosphere will be what you make them. Tell them. It says, I see more TV money coming to the SWAC. Yo, the TV contract for the SWAC, woo-wee, That joint gonna be huge. That joint is going to be something special. I can promise you that. I can promise you that. Dr. McClelland said on that HBCU game day, and I didn't watch him on HBCU, the sports lab. That came on tonight. I missed that. I was busy. But he said that there were SWAC games on ESPN Plus that were reaching 400,000 people a game that didn't include Jackson State. Yo, that's tough. That is tough. Whether you want to believe it or not, that is really nice. It says, I think that everyone was in an uproar because we didn't have an explanation or facts to understand why it was done. I will support the efforts to keep things rolling in order to grow and thrive. I can understand that, Veronica. I can understand that. And I hope Dr. McClelland was able to provide. I hope he was able to provide that those facts, that understanding. I hope I was able to give you like a visual of what this thing could look like or what it's gonna. Ain't no could. Now I believe in you guys. I believe in myself. I believe in you guys. I know what this thing gonna look like. Now, no, once again, no disrespect to Pine Bluff. This is no disrespect to UAPB. Those are some fine people down there in Arkansas, you know. But I just don't think this year will be justification of what this could be. But by 23, when that Boombox Classic comes down to Birmingham, them Bamas down there in Alabama, them Alabamians, y'all better get ready because I know y'all gonna show up. Nothing growing stays the same. Yeah, nothing stays. Not when you want to grow. It's about growth. You know, you guys seen that little from Insecure when Kelly was like growth. You know what I'm saying? This is about growth, Veronica. You absolutely right. How you feel about Grambling on having 3 games? Yo, I wasn't a fan of that, but somebody kind of bit my head off when I talked about this CFL. I was like, because I asked, I was like, yo, 3 games? That seemed like, I felt like Hugh Jackson, first year back, only 3 home games. Now, I wasn't a fan of that, but somebody was like, you don't know Grambling football. Grambling averages only about 3 home games. Oh, yo, my bad. You know what I'm saying? Okay, if I don't know what I'm talking about, then I'll shut the hell up. You know? Like, I'm just keeping it a bean. I didn't like the fact that they only had 3 home games, but, you know, it is what it is. Let me continue to read. It says, I'm one of those that was upset about the Classic in the beginning, but now is excited for it since the details have been explained. Shout out to you, Johnny. Shout out to you because this thing gonna be a thing. This thing is really gonna be a thing. I'm telling y'all. Congrats to Miles College on a new. Hey, shout out to Miles College, man, getting a new football coach. Let's see. Let's continue on. It says, listen, people, guys with PhDs don't get together to make a deal like this to lose money. Tell them, John, man, that man got a, you know what I'm saying? That man. Let's see. What's Steven talking about? Exactly. So why wouldn't they want this game? They want every major event. No, yeah, but that's what I'm saying. This are you talking about like the TV contracts? Because if you're talking about the TV contracts, man, everybody gonna be bidding for this thing. Let's keep it a bean. Everybody wants Deion Sanders on their TV. Everybody wants to show off these big recruits. Who, by the way, we know Travis Hunter. We know Kevin Coleman. He keeps telling us he got at least another big fish. And shout out to my boy CFL. We see some comments from CFL. We're going to do a National Signing Day podcast. Details on that will come out soon. But me and CFL are going to break down Jackson State's recruiting class, break down some of these other recruiting class on National Signing Day, which is Wednesday, February 2nd. Wednesday, let me make sure I'm saying that right before I ain't telling you wrong. It's February 2nd. Is going to be Wednesday, February 2nd, and we're going to break down all the big time signings. Southern. Hey, if we got Southern fans. Let's talk to Southern fans real quick. I'm gonna get to some of y'all comments, because these comments rolling in. Southern fans, how are we feeling about all these flips? like where's my quarter? Southern Grambling is Deboing y'all. It's a bunch of flips. How are we feeling about all these flips? All these dudes from the boot was going to Southern, was going to play for Coach Dooley, was going to make it happen, was going to get it cracking. First year back, all these transfers, dudes from Arkansas, dudes from LSU, and they flipping over to Coach Hugh. How's Coach Hugh coming over and jacking y'all chain like that? Southern, how are we feeling about that? What's going on with that, man? What's going on? Like, it's like them folks knew they was going to Southern, and then they saw Coach Hugh pull up in Lambo or whatever he got, whatever he driving something nice. You know, man, cashed them NFL checks. He driving something nice, the Range Rover, the Trackhawk, the SRT, the something, and he keep deboing y'all for y'all recruits. What's going on? I need answers, man. I need answers. It says hurt That's why I said Dooley wasn't good for us. I don't know, man. Like I like Dooley though. I really like Dooley. I like first of all, he's fly. Man, come to the games, drip. His drip be dumb nice. And he's got a nice offense. He knows how to use his weapons. But man, some reason his recruits keep getting deboed by Coach Hugh over there. So I was just trying to see how y'all folks felt about that. You know, I'm just like, what's going on? Why he keep deboing folks? Let's see. It says Harold Perkins and Shamar Stewart released their final 3 and JSU wasn't in it. That don't mean nothing. That don't I'm gonna just keep it. I'm gonna keep it all the way honest with you. That means absolutely nothing. That means absolutely nothing, Benjamin. Because when Kevin Coleman released his top 4, JSU wasn't in that neither. When Kevin Coleman came to the table at the Army All-American game, JSU hat initially wasn't on the table neither. So they honestly, they can't even put JSU in their top 4 because folks will just if they choose to go to JSU, folks will automatically assume that they are going to go to Jackson State. So that's why, that means nothing. That means nothing to me. So that's why, that's why I'm like, you know what I'm saying? He said, do I like Dooley? I do like Dooley. I think Dooley is fly. Is he going to be better than Coach Hugh in the next few Bayou Classics, or you know what I'm saying? I don't know, but yeah, I think Dooley's dumb fly. I like, I like it. Chris got Mike. It's like when Chris, yo, Coach, that's a good. Hey, I like that one. If you guys ain't never seen The Wire, you ain't gonna know what he's talking about. But I like that a lot. It says we should have hired Sumlin. Did Sumlin want to go to Southern? I remember hearing those reports. But I didn't know if that was a real thing. But if Sumlin wanted to go to Southern, you might have missed out on something. Thanks for the sportscation. Yeah. Like I just try my best to kind of like, you know what I'm saying? Like really, really like, you know what I'm saying? Like basically break stuff down. I get some of the stuff, and I know you guys are smarter than me in a lot of instances. So I just try to do my best in that kind of stuff. It says, guess what the schools may make more money than the commission talking about. If you listen, he said there was still negotiating. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like the numbers are like the games just got announced, right? Like, so think about this. The games just got announced this week. The numbers are far from the checks are far from being cashed. There's no signatures as of yet. Nobody signed anything yet. When those sponsor numbers come out, which they will because these are public institutions, and so those numbers are typically made public. You just got to kind of do some research for the most part. They're going to be some historic numbers. That's why I'm saying everybody is going to eat from this. Like, this ain't just the Jackson State, Pine Bluff, Southern thing. Like, this is a SWAC thing. And this ain't even just a football thing. Because the thing is, when football makes a bunch of money, just like they do in those SEC schools, everybody eats. The basketball team mess around, get new jerseys, get new facilities. Women's and men's basketball team, the volleyball team gets a little extra swag, some extra goodies. You know what I'm saying? The classrooms get upgraded. Some buildings start popping up around campus. Like this is a school. This is an institution thing. So that's why, that's why we got to make that clear. Let's see. It says, do y'all know that the Boombox Classic wasn't going to happen a few years ago, and they got together and added it to the schedules? That's news to me, at least, Ted. So I didn't know that. See anybody confirm what Ted's saying? If not, I'm gonna just believe Ted. Let's see. I want JSU to get both. I'm so excited. Let's see. Yeah, if JSU gets Shamar Stewart and Harold Perkins, sheesh. If they get both them cats, hey. If they get both them cats, oh my God. Let's see. The hat, the J hat is taking on a life of its own. And that is also why, like, let's be honest. That is also why Commissioner McClelland hasn't probably signed anything. He's going to wait to as long as possible and see what other kind of names end up at these schools, and not just Jackson State. But Jackson State, since they're playing in these first 3 SWAC Classics, he's not going to sign anything until he sees if they grab a Harold Perkins, if they grab a Shamar Stewart, if they grab another top 10, top 25 star, 4-star type of guy, because that affects contract negotiations. That affects what kind of numbers. If folks thinking, okay, we got paid top dollar because they got Travis and Kevin and Dion and Shador and all these guys, okay, but then that number gets elevated if a Harold Perkins joins the mix. That number gets elevated if a Shamar Stewart joins the mix. That number gets elevated if a so-and-so joins the mix. So he ain't going to sign nothing until the cows come home, until they see everybody that's headed down to 1400 Lynch Street. He ain't going to sign anything, and that's why everything is still under wraps. Let's see. Lisa Steven on his way. He doesn't know. Oh, come on, Terry. Come on, Terry. No hate right here. Not hating on Coach. So DDM is talking about Coach Dooley, by the way. If y'all don't know, not hating on Coach, just wanted someone with the wow factor. Yeah, I can understand that, because when Prairie View hired Bubba McDowell, I said it wasn't sexy, and folks kind of got at me. I said it wasn't a sexy hire. I never said he couldn't be a good coach, just like you're saying you don't think Dooley can't be a good coach, but he just ain't sexy. You wanted a sexy name like Hugh Jackson or a sexy name like Deion Sanders. I completely understand that, DDM, so you ain't got to, you know what I'm saying? You ain't got to fight with me. Hey, shout out to Terry. This is a better comment. Shout out to Terry. I appreciate it. Let's see. We need to be clear. JSU made the city that $30 million. That doesn't mean the majority of what went to the school. Exactly, Unstoppable. And here's the thing. If you want me to keep it a beam with you, Jackson State made that city more than $30 million. Jackson State made the city of Jackson more than $30 million. I'm going to just throw that out there. I don't have no way of proving it. Absolutely, positively no way of proving it. But in my heart of hearts, I will go down believing. In the fall of 2021, Jackson State made that city more than $30 million. Now, Coach Prime even believes that. He said $30 million? Man, shoot, where'd that go? Where is that check to us? He said, first of all, I think it was more than that, which I believe, because he said it too. He said, second of all, where does that check come to us? So, there's that. Thoughts on JSU reports coming out about $200 million deal for $60,000. I got to see it first. I haven't seen that, Benjamin. If that happens, that happens, that'll be crazy. If this happens, I haven't seen that, but that'll be pretty crazy. It says the A&M fan base went after Harold Perkins' mom on Twitter. Yes, somebody sent me that. So in my last live, I was talking about Harold Perkins, and somebody sent me that they were attacking his mom, which is sick. But if you know anything about the history of A&M, we can just leave it at that. So that doesn't surprise me. That didn't surprise me. It says, being from Birmingham, my family will have an opportunity to see my son perform in the Boom. Hey, shout out to Sonic Boom of the South. Y'all got mad at me when I said the Southern. I think it was you, Terry. You got mad at me when I said, yo, that Southern band lit. That Southern band, that's what I'm looking. No disrespect to the Boom. The Boom is tough. Marching 100, really nice. I'm from Kentucky, and we got a K-State band. Now, they're not SWAC. They're in the CIAC, I want to say. The K-State band real lit too, by the way. That K-State band tough. And they're a small division college is what they call it. But that Southern band, sheesh. That Southern band, nice, man. I really like that Southern band. The city of Jackson will still be able to make money off the rest of the games. Exactly. Don't be greedy. If the schools is making money that helps city of Jacksonville. I don't know what's happening there. Absolutely. It's just one game, Art. You're right about that. It says, I just don't understand why Southern and Jackson State aren't locked in the inner. Okay, so I can explain this because I explained it earlier, but I can do it again. So, Jay, you might have tuned in late, but shout out to all of y'all for tuning in. We're rocking. We're real heavy in here. Be sure to hit that thumbs up button. So, Jay, this is how it works. The SWAC has 12 schools. 12 schools. Let me go ahead and show you because, we rocking, we talking. The SWAC has 12 schools. They have rotating schedules. On your side, you play your 5 divisional opponents. So Jackson State plays the 5 teams in their division. In the East Division, they play Florida A&M, Alabama A&M, Alabama State, Mississippi Valley, and Bethune-Cookman. They get one team from the West. We're just going to use Jackson State because they were the conference champions. They get to choose one team from the West that they permanently play. They can never come off their schedule. Their team that they chose from the West to permanently be on their schedule is Alcorn because as you know, they were both in the East for a long time. They were East Division rivals. So they chose Alcorn to be their one permanent team from the West to play all the time. Southern, in that case, from the West, chose their one permanent team from the East to be Florida A&M because they have a long-standing rivalry out of conference that dates back from, somebody told me, dates back at least 60 years. So because of that, every other team, if you're in the East, Jackson State, for example, every other team outside of Alcorn from the West rotates off your schedule for at least 2 years. Example of that being they didn't play Grambling last year. They didn't play Grambling because right now they're in the second year of their 2-year window where Grambling shouldn't be on their schedule. And so because of that, Coach Hugh, Deion Sanders, Ashley Robinson, the AD of Grambling, they decided to play Jackson State in what is called a non-conference game. It won't go against their SWAC record, but they're going to play this year. Grambling's going to travel down to Jackson State. So that is why Southern and JSU, technically, in the years 23 and 24, would be the year they would rotate off the schedule. But instead, they chose to play each other in a non-conference game in what? The SWAC Classic. So hopefully that made some sense. Let's continue on. It says, my thoughts on the new JSU stadium reports are saying it's still, oh, we already read that. Let's see, fun fact. Oh, I love fun facts. Fun fact, the first conference championship played was at Legion Field, Alabama versus Florida became a success because Atlanta outbid Birmingham for it. Now every conference has one. It's a nice fun fact, Marcus. Appreciate you for that. The stadium is in the works, says Ted. Stay tuned. Someone says Harold Perkins is going to LSU. I seen he's going to Florida. Just don't be surprised if you see that Block J hat on the table. It says these other fans are crazy. They trolling Hunter too. Yeah, people are sick. You know, college, a lot of fans stands for fanatic, so we never know. UAB's leading Western Kentucky. Human Jukebox 2K2. Hey, shout out to the Human Jukebox. Let's see. Let me. I'm just happy. I know somebody else that watches Insecure. Yeah, hey, Insecure lit, bro. I'm mad Insecure gone. It was great. Let's see. Hey, you guys were awesome, man. I think I'm gonna get up out of here. But appreciate all y'all for tapping in. Once again, my name is Jeff Lightsy Jr. with the Black Boss Channel and Victory Formation. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel. Subscribe right there at Jeff Lightsy Jr. Or you go over to the Black Boss Channel, theblackbosschannel.com. Hey, appreciate y'all. I'm going to read these last two. It says, when JSU builds a new stadium, that's going to be a real big factor for recruiting. No doubt about that, Mr. Unstoppable. It's all about the Sonic Boom. Shout out to the Sonic Boom. Hit that thumbs up button, guys, on your way out. I appreciate all y'all. Hey, you guys know that I'm a WKU grad. I love that. UAB winning. Hey, our Hilltoppers suck. But appreciate y'all, man. Hit that thumbs up button on your way out, and I'll see y'all next time. Peace.